Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are group KAC 2404B, and today we gonna present in subject STA 406, which is statistics for application. From the group project that we chose is video game sales. Next, I will introduce my group mates, and then we will start with me. My name is Muhammad Hazim Dennis bin Yusri, and my friends is Muhammad Haziq bin Muhammad Khairi, Raihana Afika binti Muhammad Rizwan, and Non Najmina Fakira binti Moh Nazri. Next, we go to the introduction, which is the video game industry is a massive global business, generating billions of dollars every year, even outperforming the movie and music industries are combined. Because so much money is involved, game companies constantly want to know what actually drives strong sales. Two commonly discussed factors are genre, the type of game, and publisher, the company that releases it. Many people assume certain genres or publishers always dominate sales, but assumptions aren't improved. Our study uses real data to test whether these beliefs actually hold up. Okay, next we go to the objective and significance. So for the first, our study has three objectives. First is to describe the basic characteristics of the data set, how sales are distributed by genre, platform, and publisher. Second, to test whether the average global sales is differ significantly among four major genres, which is action, shooter, role-playing, and platform. And for the third objective is to compare average global sales between two major publishers, Nintendo and Activision. And then for the significance, this study is significant for game developers and publishers who want evidence-based insight into which genres and publishing strategies are associated with stronger sales performance rather than relying on guesswork. Next, we go to the methodology, which is first is data set explanation. For our methodology, we use secondary data on video games sales consisting of 200 game titles in total. The key variables analyzed were general, platform, publisher, and global sales measured in million units sold. For the general comparison, specifically, we filtered the data set down to 132 titles belonging to the four genres of interest, which is action, shooter, role-playing, and platform.
Okay, next for method of analysis, here's a summary of the method we use for each objective. For objective number 1, we use frequency distribution, percentage, means, and standard deviation to describe the data. Wherever involved are general, platform, publisher, and global sales. For number 2, since we are comparing more than two groups, the four genres, which is action, shooter, role-playing, and platform, we use one-way ANOVA followed by Tukey SHD post hoc tests. For number 3, since we were comparing exactly two groups, Nintendo and Activision, we use an independent sample t-test along with the living test to check the assumption of equal variance. For software use, we use an IBM SPSS statistic as our main tools. SPSS is popular in science and business research because it's menu driven. We just pick the test we need from a menu instead of doing formula by hands. This make analysis faster and reduce error, so we can focus on interpreting the result. IBM SPSS statistic allow us to generate descriptive table, run the ANOVA, t-test, and also produce a chart. In this case, we use a significant level of alpha equals 0.05 through all the tests.
This slide presents the descriptive characteristic of our dataset. We analyzed 200 video games titles. Among the four genres, action has the highest number of games with 36 titles, followed by shooter with 35, platform with 31, and role-playing with 30. For publishers, Nintendo contribute 80 games, while Activision contribute 21 games. Overall, the mean global sale is 10.29 million units, with sales ranging from 5.08 to 82.74 million units, showing that some games achieve exceptionally high sales. This bar chart compares the average global sales between Nintendo and Activision. We can see that Nintendo recorded a higher mean global sales of 30.55 million units, while Activision achieved 9.89 million units. Based on this descriptive analysis, Nintendo appears to perform better. However, we still need an inferential statistical test to determine whether this difference is statistically significant. This chart compares the average global sales across the four video game genres. Platform games recorded the highest average sales at 10.91 million units, while action games had the lowest average sales at 8.28 million units. Although these are visible differences between the genres, we cannot conclude that these differences are significant until we perform the ANOVA test. This histogram illustrates the distribution of global sales. Most games are concentrated in the lower sales range, while only a small number of games achieve very high sales. This indicates a right skew distribution, mean a few blockbuster games increase the overall average sales. Therefore, statistical tests were conducted to verify whether the observed differences are significant. For objective 2, we use a one-way ANOVA to determine whether there is a significant difference in mean global sales among the four video game genres. The ANOVA result shows F equal 1.082 with a p-value of 0.359. Since the p-value is greater than 0.05, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, there is no significant difference in mean global sales among the action, shooter, role-playing, and platform genres. Although the ANOVA result was not significant, we also examined the Tukey HSD multiple comparison results. All pairwise comparisons produce p-values greater than 0.05. This means no individual genre differs significantly from another in terms of mean global sales. Therefore, the Turkey HSD results support the conclusion obtained from the ANOVA test. This slide summarizes the comparison between the two publishers. Nintendo achieved a mean global sales of 30.55 million units, while Activision recorded 9.89 million units. These findings show that Nintendo games perform significantly better than Activision games in terms of global sales. Overall, this supports our third research obtained that publisher has a significant effect on global sales performance. For Objective 3, we conducted an independent sample t-test to compare the mean global sales between Nintendo and Activision. First, Levine test produced a p-value of 0.012, indicating that equal variance cannot be assumed. Therefore, we use the equal variance not assumed result. The independent sample t-test produced a p-value of 0.018, which is less than 0.05. Therefore, we rejected the null hypothesis and conclude that there is a significant difference in mean global sales between Nintendo and Activision.
Finally, I will conclude our study and provide several recommendations based on our findings. First, for Objective 1, the descriptive analysis shows that action was the most common genre in our dataset, while Nintendo was the publisher with the largest number of video games titles. We also found that global sales varied considerably among games, indicating that some titles achieved much higher sales than others. For Objective 2, the one-way ANOVA analysis indicate that there was no statistically significant difference in the mean global sales among the four selected genres, which is action, shooter, role-playing, and platform. Therefore, genre alone does not appear to significantly influence global sales performance. For Objective 3, the independent sample test revealed a significant difference in mean global sales between Nintendo and Activision. Nintendo recorded a significantly higher average global sales than Activision in the analyzed dataset. Overall, our findings suggest that publisher has a greater influence on global sales performance than genre. Based on these findings, we recommend that video publishers place greater emphasis on factors such as game quality, effective marketing strategies, and platform selection rather than relying solely on game genre to enhance global sales performance. To further strengthen future studies, researchers are encouraged to include a wider range of game publishers, larger datasets, and additional variables such as game ratings, release year, and regional sales. This would provide a more comprehensive understanding of the factors influencing global video game sales. That concludes our presentations. Thank you.